We back with some more Nimrods, baby. Hope you guys are doing well. Had a bit of a botched run last time because I banned what I needed, but we are at a point to where I really need some credits again. If you take a look at upgrading some of these drops, you'll see that it takes like 5.5k per, okay? And a lot of eyeballs and all this other stuff. And look, I have a bunch of this stuff. Let's upgrade one of these blackout pods. I have a bunch of these resources already, and I'm gonna continue getting resources. So I'm not gonna try to rebuild the same gun that I did last time, even though I know what my mistakes were. So today's gonna be a bit of a credit run, and that's okay. Let's go to the mech scrapyard, and we will deploy here and kind of build up some levels, and we're gonna use the gun that we built last time on the drone. That way the collection resource bonus and stuff like that is still high, even though it doesn't have the magnet grip like I wanted before. And I will rebuild the gun at some point, but today we're just gonna do a credit run and just kind of BS, man. So if you enjoy these videos, guys, make sure to give us some tap on that like button. You can subscribe to the channel for more daily videos as well. And I think we're gonna start off here with, I don't think it matters what I get. I'm gonna re-roll once, and the grenade launcher is a fine choice here. So I will banish this stock and the lightweight stock, and I'm gonna grab the eyeball charm and the grenade launcher for sure. Both of these I want both. So I'll add the grenade launcher right now and just have the right clicks going when I reload. So cold forge casings and underbarrel recharge, I don't need either of these. I'll just go for damage here. So over the weekend, my nephew turned 7 years old, and I said that I was going to be going to Sky Zone, and I will be happy to report that a lot of his cousins showed up, some kids his age, so he was able to jump with his family and have a lot of fun. And his Nanok and Tatant did need to get on the trampolines. Thank goodness, man. Because I'll tell you what, it was rough for a little while. Man, I kind of don't want any of these, but if I banish all of them, then I'm not gonna have any. Let's re-roll first. Look, imagine my surprise to find out the magnet grip was behind the sucker grip the whole time. Let's just go ahead and banish this and banish this, and we'll take the lightweight grip. All right, so anyway, our job is to get the magazine size as low as possible today, so that's what we're gonna go for. And to do that, it's gonna be a little while before we get to that point, so no need to worry about it. I'm just gonna take upgrades as I need for this build, and you can follow along if you're doing it at home or whatever. Do people still do that? Follow along at home? Magazine size, we don't want. We want the magazine size to be low here. I will take the collection size. That does not affect me right now. So yeah, I told him that. Thank y'all for all the birthday wishes, by the way, in the comments for him. I told him that all my YouTube pals said happy birthday, and he was thrilled to death with that. He was really happy about that. Let's banish Helix. No, we don't need a banish Helix here. Let's see. Magazine size actually goes down with Helix 1. Let's banish this, and we will take ammo rack here. Yeah, and he was like, oh, so thank y'all for all the birthday wishes for him, and I'm really glad that I didn't have to jump and that my wife didn't have to jump. Not that we really, you know, first of all, they reserved a 2-hour slot, which is crazy, bro. Are y'all nuts? The kid was dead after a half hour. He's not really in shape. He's homeschooled and stuff, like I mentioned before, so that didn't really sit well with him. He definitely played for the whole time, but like he was ready to sit down and have lunch and stuff after an hour for sure. Like he was soaking wet sweat. But he had a good old time. We all did. I took a lot of videos and stuff since I didn't have to jump, and his family jumped with him, and they had a good old time. And it's kind of good that I didn't, because I don't know if my wife picked up a bug over there or if her sinuses were just acting up, but she ended up getting actually coming down with a little sinus infection. I don't want any of these. I'm gonna go for ammo supercharging rack. She ended up coming down with something. So we don't know if it's sinus infection or what, but she came home early from work a little bit yesterday, and she was like, feel like hell, my head hurts, sinuses. I was like, okay, take some medicine, go take you a nap. And I wouldn't have been able to take care of her if I was broken and in pieces, and she would have been a lot worse off if she was too. We'll take the credit bonus here from Alchemical Crest. So yeah, it turned out all right. It did turn out all right. But I gotta tell you, like, I could have probably jumped a little bit better than I normally do, because I'm in better shape now than I was the last time I showed up at Sky Zone. Which, granted, I haven't done trampoline stuff since then, but you know, the idea behind it is the better in shape that you get, you know, the more you can tolerate like that. It used to be quite bad. I've been collecting like various gym equipment throughout my I don't know, the past 10-15 years or something, and I have quite a bit of stuff. I have a treadmill. I have a pull-ups rack that you can do dips, pull-ups, and various other things. I have a bunch of these bands, these tension bands, like big rubber bands that you can, you know, resistance bands. That's what you call them. Yeah. Resistance bands. I have a bunch of those. I have a dumbbell with a bunch of weights. Or dumbbells with a bunch of different weights, some adjustable sets of dumbbells, 2 of them now, and a barbell. No, we want reciprocal reloader, I think. Yeah, that brings down our magazine size and goes to infinite. That's what we want. So we are going to gamble here. Is this it? No. Oh yes, it is. It is. Yes. Good. We'll take it. Essentially, I have a pretty good setup, and I didn't always have that. But now that my wife works out with me, it's a lot easier to do that for myself. Back when my wife wasn't interested in reload, my wife has always been like really thin. She's never been a thick lady, right? She's like 120 pounds soaking wet, and she's a little bit shorter than me. So she never really needed to work out, and she's always had jobs that have had her walking a lot of steps, you know, like in retail and stuff like that. So essentially, when she decided that she wanted to take up working out, naturally, it helped me out a lot, because before she was really health conscious about food and stuff, she was really like dead set against working out. She didn't want to do squats, nothing. And now we have a pretty sophisticated workout program, thanks to, you know, some AI references and some experience. I did the gym membership for a long time with personal trainers and stuff like that, to help me lose weight a long while back. And I had a fantastic guy by the name of Mark that was also into like streaming and creating videos and stuff. So he and I, I'd just go to the gym and talk shop with him, and he showed me how to work out. And I did the personal training thing for probably around a year and a half, maybe. And I learned so much. I mean, I learned so much. But I decided at the end of everything, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this myself, you know, because the gym membership was a lot. It wasn't a lot, but I didn't have nobody to go with me, and my personal trainer was a lot. It was like $200 a month, and I had, I was like, okay, I could be getting my own stuff here, you know, buying my own equipment and doing my own thing. And now that my wife's into it, it makes a lot of sense too. We're gonna take fame and fortune here for the bonuses and all that. So anyway, that's what we do now, and we have a good program designed for working out and health and stuff like that, and our diets are pretty good now. So yeah, it's probably a lot different if I would go and jump on a trampoline now. Matter of fact, it's gotten so like you know how they say you are what you eat? I used to have a lot of inflammation, and I have none anymore. Well, I say none, next to none. I have some days where I can feel it, but years ago I was suffering from a lot of problems with my ankles, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with my ankles. So I went to the doctor, and naturally they x-rayed them and stuff like that, and I found a good local doctor that I trust a lot. He's been my doctor for a long time now, and I was telling him about these problems and stuff, and he was like, what you should do is you should get tested for rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, or basically anything that causes inflammation, autoimmune disorders, because they're very common. Let's go with the should we with base penetrations? Bullet damage is okay. We'll go with bullet damage. He said you should get tested for all of this, and I came up with a rheumatoid factor, which is something that tells you may have rheumatoid arthritis. Well, there's specialists for that. So he said, yeah, the test came back that you do have a rheumatoid factor that's high enough. Why don't you go to a rheumatologist and see what they say? So I did, and I had a nice doctor, older guy, that ended up recommending that I try some medication and see if it helps. Okay, and the first medication was, it was so hard on me, bruh. It sucked. I hated it. It was a very supposedly it was like very well tolerated by people, but I didn't have any luck with it at all. I didn't tolerate it real well. It sucked. It made it hard for me to sleep. It gave me bad nightmares. It gave me dry mouth. I was low on energy. It wasn't helping at all what I was feeling in the first month. So after about 6 weeks of it, I was like, Doc, I'm done with this. We're gonna go with the pineapple grenade launcher here. So stock mounted AI is okay, I think. Do we care about this? Actually, not really. Let's gamble and try to get something that we really need. Helix reduces mag size at port level 2. Yeah, I'll take Helix. He was real good and about it, and he was like, well, let's try another drug, and I was like, all these drugs have side effects, and the first amount of side effects was that this drug, you had to go get an eye test. Like, you had to go to the eye doctor and get an eye exam annually, because this stuff can build up in your eyes and cause problems with your eyesight. And I was like, oh my goodness, no. He was like, look, it's not that serious. It usually takes years for anything like this to develop, and you go get an annual exam so they check it, And I was like, well, what if I don't take any medication? He was like, well, you could be crippled for life. And I was like, okay, then maybe I do take the medication. So let's try it out and see where it goes. And the medication I tolerated really well. It was nothing. We're gonna take the infinite ammo magazine here. It was nothing. It was very mild, and it was fine. Did it help? I don't know, because at the same time, my wife and I were both starting to do things. Like, I was reducing the amount of alcohol that I drink. I was trying to get kind of on my wife's wavelength because she has this special diet. So I was trying to curb my health. I was also trying to get in shape. And I was never really consistent until my wife started to do the same things that I did. Like, she wanted to exercise and stuff. And now that my wife and I both exercises, I'm much more consistent with my workouts. And now with her food allergies, I'm much more consistent with my nutrition. So I don't have a whole bunch of inflammation. And recently, my rheumatologist retired. And the lady that replaced him was terrible. Hardly any bedside manner. I felt like I was being sold stuff. She was, in my opinion, she was exaggerating. Like, you fill out this little questionnaire every time you go in. I got like a visit every 6 months over there, okay? You fill out this little questionnaire saying that, how is your symptoms? Stuff like, first of all, it's like, do you experience any pain doing the following? Touching your toes, getting yourself dressed. What's the difficulty level of doing things like that? Giving yourself a bath, putting on your pants, going for a brisk walk, all of these things. And I've always gone in and been like, I didn't have much trouble doing that. I was experiencing some pain when I would do things repetitively, like with my hands, or walk for long distances. Okay, so I would list that, but I hadn't put anything. Like a 2 out of 10 has been the most that I put on that for a while. And when she came in, she saw these 2s on some of my activity levels of walking or using tools with my hands, and she would be like, hey, you feeling you have these symptoms, you know, you should definitely do something about that. We should up your medication or whatever. And I'm like, no, like a 2 out of 10 is nothing. I mean, I could have put 1 out of 10 probably, but it was subjective. I just didn't want to say it was barely noticeable, because there's no 0 out of 10. So if it's something is barely noticeable, but enough to where I can complain about it, I would put the 2 or whatever. But essentially, like, I didn't have any symptoms, and she wanted to up my medication with all of these bad side effects and stuff. And I was like, no. You know, not only is the medication already not really making me feel better, but it's also makes me feel a lot, it costs money, you know, and there's side effects like my eyes to consider. So anyway, I'm like, I don't like this lady at all. So I decided to ask my doctor about it. Next time I went in for a visit, I was like, you know, doc, I haven't really been experiencing symptoms lately, and I think I just want to, can I get off of this medication? They told me I could be crippled for life. He was like, take a drug holiday, see how you feel. I was like, okay. So that's what I did. I took a drug holiday, and y'all, I mean, I don't have any symptoms, like none. Every once in a while I wake up with a little bit of ankle issues. I mean, a little bit, hardly nothing. So I'm like, I ain't worried about this no more. I had my 6-month follow-up that came up today, and I canceled my appointment. I was like, nope, I ain't going. I canceled it early. Like, when I got the alert 2 weeks out, I canceled it. But I told my wife, I was like, I canceled my rheumatoloid appointment. She was like, good for you. So she ain't worried about it. And y'all, my wallet is happier, because the appointments, it's specialists. You know how the doc specialists, they take all your money. And this is going to be a controversial statement, okay? And this is not life advice for you, all right? This is just my personal take and opinion and outlook and situation. So please do not use me as medical advice or anything. But I don't have health insurance. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Z, you must live in the UK. No. Oh, so the government must provide you health care. No, it sure don't. So what do? Pay for my doctor visits and my medication with my money that I make. What? Isn't that crazy, Z? Maybe. Maybe. Let me ask you something. The majority of you, how long do we take this? Bullet count, bullet damage, move speed? I don't think it matters. I'm gonna reroll. Splitting magazine is okay with me. Really and truly, guys, I have been driving for a very long time without having a car accident. If I could not pay for car insurance that would cover my collision, I lie, because I do pay for collision, but it's only because I can't not pay for liability, and that's only because you can be sued for literally millions if you hurt someone. If you have insurance, there's affidavits that you could sign that you don't have to do that, because I've actually had that situation happen before. But essentially, I am not worried about my health care making me go broke, because I am self-insured. I have a lot of money saved, and yes, I know if I got cancer, it could bankrupt me. And you know what? It could. You could also choose to not pay egregious medical bills if that's happened. Do I think that you should not pay your medical bills? Absolutely not. Healthcare professionals need to be taken care of. They take care of you. I'll say that most of what I consider, we'll take the jet stock here. Most of what I consider my usual medical expenses are just going to the doctors and paying for my drugs. And for any surgery, I'm a healthy guy, you know, for any surgeries, you can get temporary insurance. So I don't have health insurance. I don't have life insurance either. People might say, that's crazy too, Z. Why? Everything that I have is paid for. My wife doesn't need income replacement for me. Heck, she can start making YouTube videos on my channel if she really wants to. But the idea here is that I save the money that I would pay in medical premiums to pay for my doctor visits with ease, and to pay for burial costs and save. And my money goes into investments and generates interest, and I buy Bitcoin with it and all sorts of other stuff. So honestly, my wife is going to be set up very, very well. She doesn't need to, you know, an insurance policy to bury me with. And like, well, you can get life insurance that you can cash out. That stuff's very overpriced. Look, I have a lot of philosophies about a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying that this is the right deal, but my wife has the option to get subsidized health insurance at work, and it's still very expensive. So we just choose to save our money, and we've been doing that for years. My wife had to have a procedure a little while back, and it was very, very simple. The doctors told her that she needed to have a procedure, so she called up Blue Cross Blue Shield, got temporary insurance, waited until it kicked in, had the procedure, and then bam, that was it. It didn't take any time at all, and it was all good. It was fine. So from our experience, then, like, who the hell cares? Like, why are we worried about that? We're not worried about it. So yeah, and as long as we're healthy, if we were unwell or unhealthy at times and we had issues, you know, or if I had any conditions that I thought were, you know, bad or anything like that, we would probably have a different outlook on it, you know. But like, I have very minimal auto insurance, like I was saying before. Why? I don't hardly drive, y'all. My wife drives like 10 times more than me. I mean, I work from home, so why have crazy auto insurance? I could probably not have a car and save even more money. And you know what? If I could ever get a Tesla that would bring my wife to work and come get me, if she needed me, you know, if I needed to do something, the car would just do, you know, what I needed it to do. Which that's my plan. That's my next plan, is to get a Tesla. Only because I want to Uber it out when I'm not when I'm not actually using it. That's my plan. All right. I'm not big on electric cars per se for the fact that they're electric, but I think the technology is wonderful for self-driving cars, and I'm all for it. Anyway. But yeah, we don't get insurance, and that's why, because we're not really afraid, bruh. If they never gonna give me the pineapple launcher that I want. Not ever. They also, I don't want either of these. I wanted the golden charm, man. I guess I banned and re-rolled too many times, yo. Do I need the pineapples? No, I don't. So I might as well just get the elemental instead of getting the other ones, because my drone is doing a lot of work too. I mean, a lot of work. So we should be fine here. So yeah, anyway. I know I always go into tangents and rants, and I appreciate you guys listening and all the input that y'all add too. You know, I know I don't have the perfect system for everything, but it's kind of like gambling. It's a risk that you take by not having insurance. It is a essentially, you are paying. I'll say it again, like my dad said, pay me now or pay me later, or pay me more later. But unfortunately, we're able to save and generate interest with the money that we don't pay you now with, in hopes that the amount is bigger when we need to pay, if we need to ever pay you later, because it's in case stuff. I think, was it Chris Rock that had a whole deal about insurance? He had a whole bit about insurance, and he said, I wish they'd call it in case stuff happens. Like, he said bullets should cost $5,000, because if you really want to kill somebody, you'd need to save that money to kill. You'd really have to be mad at that person to shoot him, you know. $5,000 is a drop in the bucket now because inflation and stuff, but essentially That's the idea, right? It's in case stuff happens. Like, you have to pay for insurance and sometimes you never use it on all of this stuff, and we choose to gamble with that because the money that it costs for a benefit that you don't use is disgusting, bruh. Like, I think for me and my wife at our age to have health insurance that only pays for hospital visits, that doesn't even reduce the cost of our we're gonna take Golden Gat here, that doesn't even reduce the cost of our healthcare visits and barely reduces the cost of our medication. It's like, are you crazy, man? $500 or $600 a month in case we have to go to the hospital? Man, I ain't been to the hospital. I ain't been into the emergency room for I don't know how long. I'm low risk, bro. I don't even get around people. My wife gets around people and brings stuff home. That's the only way I get sick. Like, you gotta be crazy for me to get health insurance and spend $500-600 a month on when nothing happens for years at a time. That's how I think about it. You know how much money I've invested because of that? I've probably invested as much last year as I made. You know, like, I invest almost 100% of my salary. I just live off of my savings until I need a little bit, you know? But or when I spend, it's straight out of my investments account sometimes, because I invest in a lot of crypto. So I can essentially exchange it for cash, and it generates interest, you know, every single month. And I'm not talking about savings account interest. I'm talking about, like, it generates 4 or 5% interest. So having money in those accounts, so much better than giving it to the government. I don't even pay taxes until I absolutely have to, because you know what happens? Most people pay taxes on their check, right? They pay a ridiculous amount of taxes on their check, and then when they get home, when they get their check, they spend all kind of money on taxes, and at the end of the year, you know, the government tells them, oh, you overpaid us by X amount of dollars. So all of that money, we're gonna give back to you. But they held it all year as you gave it to them. And you know what they did with it? They invested it. They made money. They made interest money off of the money that you gave them. So why don't you do that? And the question, the thing is, most people, they don't have the discipline to do that. It's hard. It really is. It takes years of basically discipline and practice and determination and organization to be able to do stuff like that. And as a young adult, I never could do that. But now that I have most of my ducks in a row, my assets are paid for, and I make a reasonable amount of income as well. We have 2 incomes in my house. Our kids are grown and going. You know, it's not like it used to be. It's much easier to get to get that stuff rolling. Let's go with credit bonus here. It's much easier to do that now, you know. So there's all kind of little tricks of the trade that you can develop and stuff, but it equates to making sure that you don't get yourself into debt. You buy things with cash as long as you can, you know. I have the last 3 vehicles I bought, y'all, I did not finance them. Not even a little bit, not even the down payment. I have not. I don't finance anything anymore. You know what I finance? I finance groceries. I have a credit card and I pay it 100% every month just to make sure, because for a long time I didn't have any credit, because I didn't have any debt at all. And the few times that I remember I could have saved, like, I think it was on my weed eater, they offered me a card. They said, if you apply for the card, we'll give you $200 off today. I was like, oh my god, weed eater was only like $400. So I was like, man, that sounds like a great deal, but I couldn't. They were like, you ain't got enough credit, man. So I was like, oh my god, all right, maybe I need to do something about this. We'll do who cares, we'll do the quad ring barrel. Say, as I said, maybe I ought to get a little bit of credit. And I never wanted to do any of those things because I thought they were scams, but you know, a lot of the times it is. You just have to follow the rules. They have very strict, specific rules about a lot of these things. that you have to do. I think we go down to the right here. You have a lot of restrictions on those things. You know, if you don't pay in time or whatever, if you have a 0% loan, you can get charged all the interest backdated and stuff like that. A lot of those things, you know, credit card companies don't extend credit to help you guys. It's a racket. They make money off of it. So as long as you know the house always wins, you know, unless you do exactly what you're supposed to do, you're gonna probably lose money because of it, you know. And thankfully I'm to the point to where, you know, I only do it for like the cashback rewards now and the little deals, you know. My wife was really good at stuff like that. Resource drop rate. My wife was really good with stuff like that, always. And she would always get these little discounts and cashback and all of this stuff off of retail purchases, and she was the one that did it. But I decided that I was gonna do it finally. Eyeball charm. This is good for us. We only have 5 minutes left, but anyway. So yeah, I wanted to do it myself, and well, here we are. Years and years and years later, I'm a refined gentleman with healthy spending habits, responsible behaviors, and the ability to not have insurance, spend wasteful amounts of money on insurance in order to just be prepared in case stuff happens. I am self-insured for the most part, unless I come down with cancer, and then it'll be very bad. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Listen, you know, you don't not drive because you're scared to get in an accident, right? I know some people like that. You don't not go out in public because you're scared to get sick, unless there's, you know, warnings or whatever, right? You know, if it, you know, I don't charge straight into a hurricane either. You know, we evacuate for emergencies like we're supposed to. I don't drive in risky conditions when it's time to drive. You know, I don't go at night when it's raining and stuff like that. I don't choose to go run errands. You know, I do it when the weather's good and when, you know, when I can afford to do it without taking high risks. And that's essentially what's going on with my health too, and my insurance. I don't roll with insurance because I don't roll with no insurance if I think I have emphysema. You know, or if I'm at risk for stuff, you know. And you know what, if there was a pandemic, maybe I would get insurance. But we have house insurance too, because we live in Louisiana, and not having house insurance homeowners insurance is crazy, because we have hurricanes over here. If there's a hurricane, you lose everything. As it is, my house is not worth enough to replace it. You don't get replacement costs for insurance, you just get some of the money back. You know, so you don't have to start from zero again. And if we do that, we get in a tiny house anyway, bruh. Yeah, let's do the silver. We get in a tiny house anyway. We get in one of them super tiny houses. And I'll just have a separate studio for my my YouTube, bruh. I mean, I record YouTube when my wife's not around anyway, so we could probably do it in a tiny house, but it's less to clean, less to heat, less to cool. You ain't gotta worry about all the crazy stuff that comes along with big home ownership. Hell, there'd be less grass to cut too. If I get a tiny house on my 2 acres, man, maybe we'll just have a big pool. I don't know. maybe we'll get a smaller lot, just so we don't have neighbors. I don't really care. That having extra land is a good way to make sure you don't have neighbors. I don't mind having neighbors, but they are aggravating. I'm sure I aggravate my neighbors too. Like when I decide to cut grass early in the morning and they're trying to sleep late, you know, or when they want to have a party and we go to bed at 7 p.m. because my wife works a ridiculous schedule and I'll mirror it, you know. It's all good, man. So look, let's get back to the build real quick. It is working fantastical. I've been able to accumulate a lot of resources here. Where are we at right now? 10,805 credits, 904 canisters. I mean, that's some good upgrades, G. I ain't even gonna lie. It's fantastic. Did I go all the way here? Yeah, I sure did. I think up there may have had some different stuff. I'm not buzzed, so I just can't fly over stuff. Maybe I will head back that way, because I'm pretty sure I went the other locations. Pretty sure I did. I'm gonna stick to the top of the screen too here. That way I could absorb a little bit from from the forest walls. Okay, let's go up here. If I could stop chasing these darn things. Look at the bullets coming out of my drone, man. Holy. It's bananas. It's truly bananas. Yeah, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of resources here. Oh my gosh. Look at the look at them stacking on the side of the screen, guys. Look at the resources stacking. Golden eye charm, baby. Let's do it. Look at the I can't see. I cannot see. All right. It's so stupid. So stupid. Let's get collection range. All right. Do we have time to do this little thing right quick? I think we do. We don't have time to get anywhere else, so we might as well get this. We'll do the corkscrew thing. Not that it matters. Let's just get the canisters and resources that drop from Malfor before he gets disintegrated. He's just gonna get... God! As soon as he was dead before the screen even went back over, bruh. Look at them numbers, boy. Look at them numbers. Oh, $13,189. Plus a little 500 bonus from man, we keeping this gun for sure. What's the stats on it? We'll look at it. 7,300. Not bad. Not bad at all. We'll see what we need here. Let's go to, okay, we got that mission. If we go to this, the drop pads, yeah, we can spin to get the boxcar pod better, all of these cars better. But I think before spinning on that, we should upgrade jeans a little bit more. That's the not Sydney Sweeney's jeans either. I'm talking about these jeans. I don't think we need to do scavenger anymore. Business acumen might be worth it. 370 is a lot, but we want crit chance to go up. That's max now. We want underbarrel recharge rate to go up. We want reload speed. I don't know. Bullet speed is good. Underbarrel recharge rate is also good. In rate of fire definitely needs to be max. Effect size, not really. Eagle eye reduces spread. I don't, you know, it's cheap, so we'll do a few of them, but I don't know if I really need that for anything. And look who's already out of money, G. Gah! We already out. But man, these resources here, we'll be able to change all of these out to some better stuff like the fortitude genes and stuff in order to fight, you know, to fight El Fuego. So maybe next video, we'll try to fight El Fuego again. We'll get our vampiric mag weapon that we had. When was it? A couple times? No, not that one. This one. I think that's the one. Oh wait, or was it? Was it? Was it the vampiric mag? Yes, this one. We'll take that one along with us, and we'll try to build a gun similar to it with, you know, with the prototype gun. We'll try to beat El Fuego and see if we can even stand the chance and try to get our special power up. Hopefully it works out. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give me some dap on that like button. Give me some hype if you got it on your mobile app, and you can subscribe to the channel for more daily videos. Make sure to check all these playlists on the screen, as well as my video feed on my channel, guys. I got a bunch of games that I recently covered, some really good ones that hadn't got enough love, and if you like roguelikes, I'm sure you'll love them too. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Ulden signing off. We'll see you next time.